What's up? Welcome to another episode of Cut Bait and Short Shots. Today we're going to be talking dove hunting decoys.
Yeah.
We're going to keep it simple. We're going to get straight to it, guys. Everybody's been asking us how we set up our decoys and what we use and what kind of decoys are those and whatnot. And we decided to just make a cut bait short shot and get right to it. There's three types of basic dove decoys on the table right now. We'll start off with these. These are your plastic decoys. You can typically get these in a pack of maybe 6, and they come in different variations. These are a hard plastic, got some kind of a mourning dove pattern painted on them. So as you know, decoys are always going to be painted to mimic the bird you're trying to draw in, right? These are MOJO brand. They come with a little clothespin that you can stick on maybe a fence line, barbed wire fence, tree limbs. You know, you can put them on your shoulder and act like a pirate out there. But no, these are cool. They work. The idea is to get dove comfortable with getting in close, right? That's decoying, right? At its best.
So I mean that in essence, that's all it is getting a bird. All of these are used to assist you in getting a bird close enough for a good ethical shot.
Yeah. So these next contraptions, I guess you could say, this is a dove flicker. These have intermittent timers on there where they'll just spin, and you can hear how this one's well balanced.
Well balanced. It needs to track and balance.
But you can see that it's intermittent, so they're just, you kind of set them and forget them and put them on the ground. I'll go into detail on how to set those up. Not a bad deal. They come, they're battery operated. Stick 3 AAA or AA, 3 AA batteries on those. And then we got the MOJO. This is a battery-operated decoy that you would set up on a. It comes as a set, so you'll have the 2 wings. You'll have the
decoy, the stake,
and you can just press your boot into the ground and get that mounted on top. And we'll go into detail on how we set those up too. But there you go. You got that. Go ahead and activate it.
Here we go.
So as you see this battery, that thing's just going nonstop. It's not intermittent. They do have modifications you can do to these where you can actually have a remote control. I don't think it's that serious. I think all you need is a decoy to get them to come closer, something to get them to kind of fly down lower, and I'll explain that in detail.
Yeah.
I'm going to set my flickers down about 20 yards in front of me, 20 to 30 yards. And what I use that for is, not only do I use that as to kind of mimic a feeding frenzy on the ground, and that's what you want to do. You just want to randomly set them up. The more the merrier. You don't need a whole lot. You don't need to have too many. That's up to you. They usually come in a set of 4. That's plenty. Set them down in front of you. I like to set them down about 20 to 30 yards in front of me, and then I use that as also a landmark. That's a range, right? 20 to 30 yards. I know how far that is. And then I set my MOJO up at about 40 yards. Why 40 yards? Because 40 yards is kind of like my maximum effective range with my shotgun. I'm not going to take a shot further than that.
So there's another reason you're going to set these up closer as well too, right? So if you have your MOJO set up a little bit further outside at like 40, 50 yards, it gives you a known distance, just like Ben just said. But what that MOJO is going to do is those long distance birds, they're going to see that, from a further distance. So they're going to come in to investigate and be like, oh, there's birds there eating. And as they come in and they see this MOJO, they're going to see those flickers. And now those flickers are closer to you.
Yep.
And they're mimicking feeding birds on the ground. So that dove is going to swoop down even lower and closer so that, a better shot opportunity.
Yeah, something to keep in mind is the MOJO is going to bring them in from far away. The flicker is going to bring them down low from up high. So you want to set those up because if you want to get a good shot and within range, like I said, you're trying to get the birds to see that MOJO from far away. So I can have that MOJO set out a little further. I also use it as my range. I'll set my MOJOs out at around 40 yards. So if I know anything comes in within those MOJOs, free game, baby. I'm gonna drop them.
And if you're the guy that's setting the decoys and you're hunting with a group, just be vocal to the group about what range you set them out at, because it's going to help them as well.
Yeah.
And if say you're the only guy, you're the only one that brought decoys, and you have a group with you, if you want them to have a good time, don't set them all on your side. Like you're hunting the right side of the group, and you put them all on the right side. Maybe put them in the middle.
Yeah, centralized area.
Centralized area.
Get set up, and you can actually set up a big round, group of guys, you know, if you're not shooting towards each other, you can kind of horseshoe and kind of triangulate some birds from moving from maybe say 100 yards that way, 150 yards that way. They can kind of start banging away.
Yeah.
And if they take
They
some
may turn.
evasive movements and go this way, well, they're starting to bring them towards you. So that's a good thing to set up. You can set up an L shape and kind of corner
Yeah, any
them.
shape. I
You
mean,
can set up a horseshoe. You can oxbow them in there.
depending on what your field your hunting
Yeah.
ground allows.
Yeah, but I mean, there's dove fields, there's corn fields, there's all kinds of different ways to set up. Basically, I just wanted to kind of cover these simple decoys because I think that these are really good tools. You can see in our videos where they're just bringing birds in and we're just setting them up and we're not doing anything special. It's just an effective tool.
And price point, we talked about our last podcast. You don't need a whole lot to dove hunt. These aren't a requirement. You don't have to have them, but they do, assist you in more birds and better shots.
Yeah.
And so for their price point, it's almost, for a couple here and there, or whatever, it's really worth it.
Yeah, I mean, when you compare it to duck hunting, you're calling birds in, you're trying to decoy them down to a, whether it's a shallow, pond or, a big lake or, open water, you're going to try to set up a decoy spread. This is just another form of that. There's not really too many people out there calling dove. There is a way to call dove with certain kind of, all-in-ones and stuff like that, but nobody does that. You know what I mean? Nobody's out there trying to be the dove whisperer.
Yeah, I mean, if birds are there, you're probably going to get a shot.
But I guarantee you, if you set up a couple of these decoys, one, you get a couple of these set up on the fence behind you or along the fence, it kind of gets the dove to know, and you can just sit there and watch them, man. Those dove will come sit right next to them. Be like, what's up?
Now, realistically, though, if there's not a whole lot of dove in your area, they may not work as well. If you have a lot, it depends on location. Are you setting up, along a known large feeding ground, whether it's a big milo field, sunflower patch, a big hay patch, whatever the case is? If there's birds around, these decoys will attract birds. If there's not birds around, these decoys aren't going to attract birds, obviously, right? So don't expect them to be a miracle worker for you, if you will.
Yeah. So, without going into when the dove are flying, what time of day, and which way and which direction, and what they do when they go eat, and then where do they go, get water, hit the roost. Without going into all that, we just wanted to cover these simple decoys to increase your odds in drawing some birds closer to you and get them within range. That's the most frustrating thing about, dove hunting is if you're sitting down trying to have the birds come to you, typically they're flying and they're not really flying right over you.
Yeah.
This is a way to get them in closer, get yourself within range. And then if you have to get out there and flush some birds, then again, these are just a tool to you can also use them as a landmark. Hey, if that bird fell down, you can use it. Okay, I know it's somewhere near
reference points.
Yeah, reference points.
So once again, for the people in the back, let's go through this setup again. So you're going to have your flickers and your full body decoys, right?
Yeah, those are stationary. They're going to come with a clothespin.
You're going to put them around wherever you can.
Yep.
The flickers, you're going to put them out about 40 yards in front of you.
20
20 yards
30.
in front of you. And you're going to make sure, the field, mat down the grass a bit or whatever if you have to, just so that it can be seen. And your MOJO about 20 yards past your flickers.
Yeah.
And you'll be set up for success.
Yeah. Kind of make a little interesting noise. It's therapeutic.
Yeah. It's kind of like flying in a helicopter. It makes you sleepy.
I'm getting sleepy right now.
Well,
but
speaking of that,
simple, straight to the point. Here are the 3 different types of decoys you guys can use. Try them out. Let us know how they work for you. They work really well for us, and we're ready to get out there and get after it.
We're almost there. A few more days.
All right, man. Let's get it. Thank you for watching another episode of Cut Bait and Short Shots. We'll see you on the next one.
Peace.